I think an appropriate question you might ask as a relatively new Mason or somebody who just sat down to reflect on the craft, an appropriate question you might ask is, why are there so many guards? Why are there so many dudes with swords at my lodge? And it's an awesome question. If you take the perspective, however, that Freemasonry is a mental exercise, you'll determine quite quickly that each of those guards serves a purpose. And that purpose, now more than ever, is vitally important. We are living in an age of where information and the truth of information is a difficult reality, right? There is so much content out there that is either politically motivated or artificially generated or inspired by false beliefs, or legitimate beliefs that turn out to be morally, bankrupt. That those guards really become just a critical part of understanding how you can stay sane in an environment where sanity and retaining your sanity is increasingly difficult. So what do I mean by that? Um, the guards are designed to help you maintain the integrity and order of your mental and emotional landscape. And they do that by giving each of the doors in the lodge room a sort of cognitive function. So from the outer door, meaning, all distractions, through to the inner door, meaning, good intentions, through the examining room and the preparing room, and we've talked about these in separate sort of instances. But as you're kind of looking through the online or even offline landscape with books and media, those filters should be sort of processed, and it's helpful to process them in a certain order. So when you're sitting down in reflection, you need to do the first order door closing, right? We're going to close the outer door, and that means all data that is not relevant to the current reflection. And so this means while you're sitting down to think about perhaps how can you better solve a situation with your neighbor, or how can you start building the kind of future for your family that you're looking for, or what have you. um, the first order door is anything that's not related to that needs to be eliminated from your processes. Now, like any kind of meditation, the way you let thoughts kind of not control you is to just let them pass. You can note they're passing, but let them pass through your mind as you're reflecting. The moment you start to try and pick up that shiny bauble of a thought or a piece of information or a piece of data, you run the risk of getting distracted. And then that outer guard sort of concept isn't doing the right work. So the next order of sort of operations is, I think it's the preparing room, where as you are processing data from your everyday life, you need to put on your Masonic sort of headspace and, remove your offensive or defensive labels, remove your need to be right, your need to be vindicated, your need to be all of the things that come with maybe putting on the armor and the trappings of the outside world, and removing from the conversation any of the sort of egoic attachments to money, fame, or fortune, as you allow that information to come in. So first, the outer guard protects you from all distractions that aren't related to the current sort of reflection and meditation. Second, the inner guard, or the in Pennsylvania Masonry, We have masters of ceremonies. So the junior master of ceremonies' responsibility is to guard that preparing room door. And then your examining room door, and that's where we examine visitors to the lodge, data that we want to, potentially bring in and validate. I've done a whole episode in this already, but that examining room door is where we want to determine if perhaps new information or current information might fit from a Masonic perspective, our overall goals and designs. But if you use these guards as kind of an information processing algorithm, if you will, you'll get very quickly to a deeper and stronger understanding as you're processing new information. And you can do this in reflection. You can do this even in the context of browsing a website. You can take a Masonic approach, as odd as it sounds, to browsing the internet. Put on those different sort of digestive or intellectually filtering layers where you determine what information makes it into the inner chamber. And when you do that, you'll find that the biases and the noise start to get the volume turned down, which, again, in sort of current modernity is really, really nice. So this is just another shout out to Wilmshurst's idea of using the Masonic ritual as a sort of mental reflection and headspace. So good luck. I want to know if it worked for you. I know that when I stepped through it, it's been pretty productive. So reach out and let me know what you learned.